And welcome back. Well, not a great deal done on the plot this week, mainly because of time constraints, but for those of you that recall from previous ones where I lost all my tomatoes, managed to get the second sowing of those to a stage where they're ready to go out, and they all went out quite a lot in this bed. Onions are doing really well. They'll be coming up fairly shortly in the next sort of few days, maybe a week. Got all sorts in here. So you've got tomatoes, followed by celeriac, followed by more tomatoes, followed by more celeriac, followed by onions, spare onions I had knocking around, and tomatoes. I had a few spares, so I popped them over in the pumpkin patch. Courgettes are really starting to fill out space. I mean, a week ago they were like that. 2 weeks ago they looked a bit sickly like that. So yeah, should shortly get some bits and pieces off of those. We've got flowers coming on, as you can see. Over this one as well. I'll bring you back in a second when I move to the other plots. This is the carrot bed. I sowed 2 more rows, and you can see that virtually nothing's come up there and there. I have reset those seeds and I've sowed the rest of this bed. These are Nance 2. I use pelleted seed, which is in the previous videos. I do have another bed, but that will be part Nance and then the rest January King for winter time. Let's go and have a look at the other end of the plot. Okay, this is the first of the brassica beds. These were the kale that didn't look particularly robust last time, and that one was eaten away by caterpillars. That one's now recovered, now I've squished them. And I have to say I'm very happy with how the brassicas in this bed are coming along. You know, they're going to be ready just about when I should finish the others. I did do a little bit of planting this week. These are the watermelons. As always, they've not like transplantation, but if you look at the new growth, you know, they're coming through quite nicely. There's 4 in this bed because they do take a lot of room. Corn's looking really quite good. You know, the whole American analogy is knee-high by the 4th of July. You know, we've got about 3 weeks left for that time frame, and I would expect that to be at least that high by then. Butternuts starting to really take off. They took a while to establish, but they've really kicked into gear. We've got the rest of the tomatoes. These were mostly ones that had actually recovered. They obviously had been hit enough that it killed the top growth but not the base plate, so all of this is grown up. I think I've added 4 or 5 plants in the whole bed. Very weedy celeriac bed again. And then my very yellow, these are white lady runner beans. They've not enjoyed the transplantation process between the initial heat, then the downpour, then the cold nights. You know, they've really not liked it. But as the weather warms up, they'll green up again, and they'll scramble up, and all of a sudden they'll just explode. Similar situation on this side with the excuse me, decided to roll over through there with the wind. Yeah, with the Malottis, although they're a little greener, so they're a little bit more coping a little bit better. Potatoes, these are my main crops. They're starting to flower. They really did not recover well from that frost, you know. I mean, the earlies especially have taken an absolute battering. You can still see all the gaps in the bed where it didn't just check them, it actually killed them off good and hard. So I'm expecting a much lower than average yield from those this year. I'm going to do some in pots ready for Christmas, which will help to top up my autumn supply. And if we go into the polytunnel, apart from the fact it's a complete state as always, everything is going absolutely fantastically good guns in here. All the peppers are absolutely loving it. They're putting on height and weight and bushing out, and we've got flowers everywhere. Really happy with those. On this side we've got the checked tomatoes of by and large, you know, that's not a small tomato. Have done really well. I mean, the ones that weren't checked at the back, wow, just look at that, they're on their 3rd or 4th trusses. I'm gonna have to put them up to the main rafter fairly shortly. And the melons, these are all Galia type melons, and they've done phenomenally. You've got flowers everywhere, and of course they're wanting to escape their bed, but that's natural for melons. They always do that. So just be a case. I mean, look at that bed. Look at all those flowers in there. Loads of them. That's partly why I predominantly leave the door open all the time so the pollinators can get in. We're lucky enough to have bees on site, but yeah. Look at this. Look at this truss of fruit here. We've got the actual fruit sets all the way along that, and this particular plant has 1 truss, 2 trusses, 3 trusses, 4 trusses, 5 trusses. Oh no, it's still 4. 5 trusses already. So yeah, it's going to be a bountiful year in the polytunnel. I mean, just look at these peppers. They've done phenomenally well, although I appear to be having some sort of insect damage. Not quite sure what, but something's having a nibble. As long as it doesn't affect things too badly, we'll live and let live with that. Yeah, start of the first sort of pepper in there. But yeah, everything's full of bloom and vigour, and yeah, more flowers. The cucumbers have really taken a growth spurt in the last week or 10 days, and I can see actually there. Can you see what I see? Can you see what I see? Whoa. Dropping them on the floor. Have a little cucumber there. These are Beth Alpha. These are specifically only producing small fruits, so that's about what I'd expect. Yeah, been taking the side suckers off the grape, so to try and train that up. I'll tie that up properly fairly shortly, and it should thicken up that stem a bit, ready for next year. I won't expect fruit for 4 or 5 years from that. But yeah, very happy with things as they stand in here. Right, well that's all for this week. Just a quick update of a few things that have happened this week, and I'll bring you back next week, hopefully with a bit more hard change, because I'll be able to spend a bit more time down here. See you in the next one. Have a little cucumber there. These are Beth Alpha. These are specifically only producing small fruits, so that's about what I'd expect. Yeah, been taking the side suckers off the grape, so to try and train that up. I'll tie that up properly fairly shortly, and it should thicken up that stem a bit, ready for next year. I won't expect fruit for 4 or 5 years from that. But yeah, very happy with things as they stand in here. Right, well that's all for this week. Just a quick update of a few things that have happened this week, and I'll bring you back next week, hopefully with a bit more hard change, because I'll be able to spend a bit more time down here. See you in the next one.